CM, Queet CM, Queet Titas, I'd step CM Heels, none of white squale. Great Creator, we thank you for coming together. We thank the wisdom of the elders and our teachers. We give gratitude for those who have gone before us and learned the ways. We give gratitude for the wisdom that we can share with each other. We say, Haj Kasiyam. Oh, he, oh, he, oh, hey. Yo, he, ho.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Wise Folks. You know, a lot of people talk about literacy for younger people, but they don't always talk about it for older adults. And there's more to literacy than just reading, writing, and arithmetic. On today's episode, we're going to talk about a different kind of literacy. We're going to talk about the importance of pharmaceutical literacy and working with pharmacists. We're also going to talk about computer literacy and technology. And out of one of two of our episodes, we're going to start looking at the bigger picture when it comes to emergency preparedness. Thanks for tuning in to our show. Grab yourself a beverage. We'll see you in a bit.
Hi, I'm here with Mel from the medicine shop. Mel's a pharmacist, and he is going to be telling us about medication literacy. Hi, Mel. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Teresa.
Tell us about medication literacy. Like, we're familiar with literacy with reading and writing. So what's medication literacy all about?
Medication literacy is a understanding of the medications. Specifically, what is it for, the best time to take, and how to take it, and possible side effects or drug interactions that these medications may shouldn't be combined with other medications. Or
do you find that these are things that most people are familiar with? Are they medication literate?
They're getting more and more familiar now because the government have programs put in place called medication reviews, where pharmacists are enabled to talk to the patients one-on-one and discuss the medications they're taking, what it's for, and that way patients are more responsible for their health, they are more compliant with taking medications, and they are more accountable for their health.
I think that it's probably difficult for some people to keep all those things straight.
Yes.
So what kind of programs are in place to help people know when to take them and all those other counterindications?
Yes, like I said, the medication review is a publicly funded program that we can do every 6 months or as often as we can, where we discuss with the patients, so patients will be informed with the medications they're taking, so they can decide for their health because of that.
So Mel, will you go to someone's home to help them with this, or will other pharmacists across Vancouver Island?
Yes, in our pharmacy, as a pharmacist, I do visit my patient. That way, if the patient have any questions about the medications, we will answer the concern right away. And that way as well, when we go to the patient home, when we notice that they're getting overwhelmed with all the medications they're taking, whether it is still relevant or not, or whether it is something that they should still keep in the medicine cabinet, then we will discuss that. We usually help them dispose of expired medications and just make sure that their medications are simplified. And from then we will discuss the medications one by one, what the medication is for, the side effects, and possible interaction if there's any.
Well, that seems like a really fabulous service. Is it costly?
No, for us it is part of our value-added service in our pharmacy, because we notice that especially in the elderly population where a lot of our patients cannot come to the pharmacy. So what we do is we're bridging that gap and connecting with the community so that we're providing the service to the patient rather than the patient accessing the service, the pharmacy services.
So yes, so just to reiterate, you actually will go there to their homes and
Yes.
work with them on the medication, even work with their family members or their caregivers, and it's free.
Yes, yes. So we don't charge our patient with that, because when we do our own prescription delivery, we will talk to our patient and just to make sure that whatever they have received, they know what it's for, what the side effects, and it's a one-on-one, so they see their pharmacist that way.
That's wonderful. And I know that another service that pharmacies do offer are blister packs or AccuPacks,
Yes.
and which makes it a lot easier for patients to take their medication.
Yeah, that is another component of medication management, where patients sometimes forget to take their medications. By doing the blister pack or the compliance packaging, that way they will physically see whether they have taken their medications or not. And they are also arranged on the time of the week or the time of the day and the days of the week, so they know we already put the medications in place for them.
Well, that's wonderful, Mel. Thank you very much for joining us today and telling us about the free programs and to help with medication literacy.
Hi, my name is Abigail, and I am going to talk to some very wise people who are older than me with some pretty cool questions. What was your favorite book in school?
In school? And I can remember when I was your age, in 1939.
What's your favorite book?
Scary Squirrel. So you got two favorites?
Yeah, Nancy Drew and the Bobbsey twins.
He draws the scenery,
There was a book called The Wizard of Oz.
make these cool little adventures,
The Secret Seven.
put decorate them with
They were a gang of kids that got up to all kinds of mischief.
sand on them.
I never really liked reading that much.
Me neither. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Oh my goodness, Abigail is so incredibly cute. My name's Shelley and I'm pleased to talk with Michelle about computer literacy. Thanks for coming, Michelle. Can you share a little bit about computer literacy and what you've learned?
What I've learned is that older adults seem to be pretty overwhelmed and skeptical about starting to learn on computers and different devices like tablets or an iPad or an iPhone. And I'm here to encourage them that it's okay to be afraid at first, but give it a try and you'll see that it'll really benefit you. And there's going to be so many great experiences if you try it out.
When I get overwhelmed, I can't even think straight. So is there any tips that you find or stories that you have about people that have come to you and said, how do I even turn this on?
Absolutely, we get that on a daily basis. I think the first thing is just to know that you're not alone and it's okay to be afraid. And if you want to learn, go for it. Give it a chance. It's like learning a new instrument. You know, it's scary at first, but just give it a try. I know that we've had several students, older adults, that come into our center that are really anxious and unsure what to do, but once they get the ball rolling, and let's say they have an email account that they've set up, they receive an email from their daughter from abroad, it lights up their world, and they're so excited to continue emailing back and forth to family that's abroad. So there's so many different obstacles that they may find at first, but if they go through it slowly but surely, they'll see that there's so many benefits from it.
How would somebody get started, even finding a place to learn something like computer?
Absolutely. It can be difficult, but if you get in contact with your local library or maybe the community center, they will definitely be able to find you some resources for some free lessons. I know that here at London Drugs, they have computer training as well, so maybe call your local London Drugs. They might have something available. Never stop trying. There's always something out there for you.
And I guess you'd learn on a number of different things, like the phones. I guess phone is technology now. You can use the phone just like a computer.
Of course, yes. There's tablets, there's iPhones, there's iPads. There's so many different things that you can use, and there's so many fantastic apps that you can get, whether it be doing online grocery shopping. So you can get your groceries online. It can be delivered to you, or you can go to the grocery store and it's all ready for you. You don't have to go around the store looking for your items. Or you can make an account for Life Labs and book an appointment and get your Life Labs results online. So there's so many things that you can do, and if you just take that first step, you'll see that the rest is history.
That sounds amazing. I know technology is getting bigger and bigger all the time, so having somebody to walk through how to do each step is wonderful.
Absolutely. I mean, don't hesitate to ask a friend or a family member. Don't think that your question is wrong or right. There's no such a thing. You can ask them whatever you want. Typically, they'll be more than happy to answer. And sometimes even asking a stranger can be really helpful as well and not as overwhelming. So just go for it.
Well, technology is moving in many different ways, so it's great to know that there's some different places out there that can be helpful. You mentioned earlier when we spoke before we were on the show here about Google.
Yes, I did. Yes, it's a really sweet story. Some of our older adult students that come in have questions that I don't necessarily know the answer to. So I just say, well, Google it. And they kind of look at me afraid and overwhelmed, not sure what Googling it means. So I kind of just go through the process, and they realize it's this easy 1, 2, 3 step. And they have a huge smile on their face thinking, oh, this is what Googling it means. So you can get a lot of information from Google.
So it sounds like information is power. This is about empowerment, and it's about becoming computer literate.
Absolutely.
I really thank you for your time today, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Hello. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm Isabella Ostman, and I'm delighted to be here with you again today on Wise Folks. And today, my special guest is Chad McGillivray from GetMyKit. Chad is an expert in emergency preparedness, and he is going to talk a little bit about what we can do to be better prepared when the big one hits. Now, Chad, you travel all over Vancouver Island talking about emergency preparedness, and scientists these days, of course, are saying that it's not if it's going to hit, it's when it's going to hit. And as residents of Vancouver Island, we accept the risk that the earthquake potential is there, but are we prepared for it?
Well, the answer to that is some people are prepared, but not as prepared as they probably should be. There's some steps that most people should take, and one of those is creating an emergency preparedness plan. It's definitely one of the things that they should do. I brought one with me here today that you can download an emergency preparedness plan from any government website. The province of British Columbia has a great one on there. You can also download one from GetMyKit.ca and start filling out an emergency preparedness plan and photocopying all of the important documents. So you should have a photograph of every person in your household, copy of all of the important identifications, so like your passport, your driver's license, care card, all of these types of things should also be included as part of your preparedness plan. You might not be able to get to your top drawer to grab the passport, or your wallet beside the bed, or your purse beside the couch, things like that. So you should have all of these documents photocopied and put into your grab-and-go kit. So if you need to evacuate in a moment's notice, that you grab your grab-and-go bag and have these things.
So what else would be an important part of having your emergency plan?
A part of your emergency plan, a key component that I believe is very important. One of them also is an out-of-town contact. For those of you that don't know what an out-of-town contact is, this is somebody that's going to be outside of the epicenter, somebody that's would not be affected by the same type of disaster. But one of the important things that you should have in your part of your emergency plan is a meeting place. So I do a lot of workshops and preparedness events with large groups of people, and I always ask somebody in the crowd if they have a meeting place set up for their loved one or their partner in the event of a catastrophic earthquake or any disaster. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. And the only thing that's going to be important in a time of crisis is getting back with our loved ones. The first things we'll probably do is pull out our cell phones. We have that type of technology, and it probably won't work. And so having a meeting place 1 and a meeting place 2 set up is a very important component of your emergency plan.
So what are some of the things that we should gather to have on hand in the case of an emergency?
Definitely. One of the main couple of components would be food, water, and shelter for a minimum of 3 days.
For each person?
For each person, definitely. It's recommended to have 7 days by most municipalities all over Vancouver Island, and even the province of British Columbia recommend to have 7 days supplies, but a minimum of 3 days for food, water, and shelter. Other things like first aid and communication would be important, so a crank radio or a solar flashlight, things like that would be very important to have.
So now I've gone and I've put together all of my stuff. Where do I store it?
Probably the number one question that I get asked after every workshop that I do. And the answer to that, well, there's no right answer, right or wrong answer, I should say. It's recommended by most levels of government to keep it near an entrance or exit to your home. If you are trapped in your home, you'll still have it. And if you're in your home when you're evacuating, you're going to grab it near your entrance or exit while you're evacuating the building.
So have it portable would be a good thing then.
That's a great thing to touch on. I encourage everybody to have it in a grab-and-go bag, something where you're not going to be relying on anyone or anything, so not relying on your RV or a big garbage can or a tote. Those totes in your garage are a great option if you're able to stay in your home, but if evacuation is part of your story, and if and when that big one happens, it will probably be part of my story and your story, unfortunately, and having a grab-and-go backpack so your arms are free to move any fallen debris or grab other things or people will be much helpful.
Now I keep a stockpile of food in my place, and what I try to do is rotate it so that I buy another case of soup, then I will rotate it from the cupboard. And I also have, which I just put in, was a can opener. It's realizing that chances are I may not have electricity when if something happens, so I've got a manual can opener that I bought to have on hand.
Definitely, yeah. Power is something to think about too when creating your emergency plan. If the power is not cut off after a damaging earthquake, it will probably be turned off because of all of the downed lines will be a hazard. So things to put into consideration when it comes to that would be ATMs won't work. So you should have cash in small denominations inside of your emergency plan. I would recommend $100 per person. Another tip to think about if there's no power is gas pumps. Rely on power, and if there's no power, that means you're not getting gas. So keep your gas tank half full.
That's a great idea.
Definitely.
Now, if somebody was looking for more information, a little more, where can they go?
Definitely. There's an amazing 3-step guide you can download at GetMyKit.ca, or again, you can hop onto the province of British Columbia's website, and there's lots of great forms and information on there as well with emergency preparedness.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Chad McGilvery from Get My Kit. Now we are going to go and check to see what Dan and Dan have been up to.
So Dan, I see you're wearing your brain in your pocket.
Yeah,
I can't.
Sometimes I need 2 brains.
Well, speaking of brains, I'm sorry, I'll give you your brain back. Speaking of brains, is there something in life that you haven't done that you would like to accomplish?
Yeah, I finished writing a book I started a couple years ago.
I did not know that. You're a writer.
Well, yeah, a children's book.
Well, then I'll share with you. I want to go back to my piano. I want to start learning all my beautiful pieces that I've totally forgotten. It's great for the fingers.
Yeah, look at those
And
long
it's,
fingers.
thank you. And it's something I want to continue or pick up that I haven't done in years. So let's find out what other people's passions are.
Let's do that. That's awesome. Thanks. Let's go.
So here's an interesting question, which I think you might find quite tantalizing to think about. But is there something you haven't done in life yet that you have to or would like to do?
In life?
In life.
Yes.
What haven't you done?
Well, I want to take the Rocky Mountaineer.
Wow, you're ambitious.
Well, it's also very expensive, but it'll be fun.
And your lovely partner, what would you like to do, or what you haven't you done yet in life that you would like to do?
I haven't jumped out of a plane and had a parachute open.
You guys are exciting.
Something that I'd like to try and do that I haven't done yet. Skydiving. But after seeing it, I don't think I might want to do that.
Well, we were just in the Panama, and I actually went in a cave that was, and I don't like caves, I have claustrophobia, and there were actually even bats in the roof and the whole bit, and I had a great time. So I think I did mine, because I went in with the bats in a cave.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Well, currently I'd like to know more about computers and be really conversant with them.
Oh, well, that's fantastic.
Now here's something interesting. I'm with the real Dan. Last time we spoke, I had a Dale Dan.
Men age better than women because you don't have to put a lot of makeup on, so we're more natural.
Do you really agree with that?
No, I do not. Not even close.
This is my real Dan.
Yay, nice to be back.
I'm happy I got my real Dan back. I mean, Dale Dan was okay, but then, you know, there's Dan Dan, and you'd rather stay with Dan Dan. Now, speaking of, I know it's confusing. Is there something in life that you haven't achieved yet that you would love to be able to achieve?
I really think I have done what I wanted to do, and I'm still doing stuff and stretching out a little bit and doing different things, so I'm just having a good time.
Yes, I'd like to go to Australia, and I'm hoping to go there one day, but it's a very long way.
So you want to basically travel and experience the world?
Yes, I do. I have done some traveling, but I'd like to go to Australia.
Fabulous passion. And how about my gentleman over here? What would you like to do in life that you haven't done yet?
First off, you have me confused with a gentleman.
Sorry about that. We'll talk later. Go ahead.
I also would like to travel more.
Something in your life that you would like to learn or do or be?
Well, yes. I would like to be like touring different parks or different countries, but also, learning about nature, flowers.
More active and challenge myself, I think, a little bit more in that area. Yes.
And anything in specific that you really pretty much want to attack fairly soon in life?
Fairly soon in life? I think more self-care and be more attentive to it and do it on a daily basis.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
What did you learn?
I actually was quite amazed that some people, at no matter what age, are still learning.
You never stop learning. That's what I find. So you're going to be writing your book. I'm going to be going back to the piano. And actually, there's some fabulous ideas that a few other people had that I wouldn't mind trying myself, like traveling around the world, learning about the world and other cultures. What a great thing to achieve.
Yeah, I thought it was just jumping out of a plane. That's what I thought.
He's jumping out of a plane. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
That's our next show, jumping out of a plane.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I like that.
But you know, literacy is fun. It's a funny, interesting beast because you can do it at any age and there's so much you can learn.
That is true. And in case you kind of have a bit of a brain fog, just carry the brain with you.
Well, there you go.
Sorry.
2 brains are better than 1.
It's true. Dan and Dan. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Wise Folks today. I think we learned a whole lot about literacy, emergency preparedness, about working with the pharmacist to make sure that you've got your prescription drugs working their very best for you, and also about learning how you can connect with other members of our community in order to ensure that you are literally safe. And we're really, really glad that you tuned in. If you want more information about this particular show, or you'd like information about any of the guests that we've had in our previous episodes, you can check us out at Facebook or give us a call at Nanaimo Family Life Association. We're really glad that you tuned in, Vancouver Island. We look forward to seeing you next time on Wise Folks.
I walked with the world for a many a mile. Life was fun for a little while. As I got older, how could I smile? How could I be happy for long? I met a wise folk the other day, told me to live in a happy way. Now I'm walking in the good old way, and I'm greeting life with a song. Something is missing in my heart today. I had to stop and rest a while. Not really sure what I need. How was I to find what's wrong? I met a wise folk the other day, told me to live in a happy way. Now I'm walking in the good old way, and I'm greeting life with a song. I'm greeting life with a song.